Welcome to your IELTS listening practice from Spinta.org. This is a mini-test designed to help you practice a specific section of the exam and improve your confidence. The recording will be played one time only, just like in the official test. Let's begin.
Welcome. Today's lecture in anthropology will cover one of the most fundamental and epic stories of our species, the out-of-Africa theory of human migration. This theory is now the bedrock of our understanding of human origins. It posits that our species, Homo sapiens, evolved to its modern form in Africa and then undertook a series of migrations to populate the rest of the world, eventually replacing all other archaic human species. The evidence for this is like a detective story, drawn from multiple independent fields of science that all point to the same conclusion. First, and perhaps most intuitively, we have the fossil evidence. For decades, paleoanthropologists have been unearthing the skeletal remains of early humans. When you map these findings by age, a crystal clear pattern emerges. The oldest anatomically modern human fossils, dating back as far as 200,000 years, are found exclusively on the continent of Africa. Fossils found outside Africa are progressively younger the further they are from it. Then we have the powerful genetic evidence, which truly revolutionized this field. By analyzing mitochondrial DNA, or mtDNA, which is passed down exclusively from mother to child without recombination, geneticists were able to trace all living humans back to a single common ancestor. This individual, nicknamed Mitochondrial Eve, was not the only woman alive at the time. That's a common misconception. But she is the only one from that period whose maternal lineage has survived unbroken to the present day. And all the data indicates she lived in Africa around 200,000 years ago. This finding is powerfully corroborated by looking at the Y chromosome, which is passed down from father to son and traces the male lineage. This genetic line of inquiry, completely independent from the mtDNA research, again points to a recent common African origin for all non-African populations. The fact that the genetic story from both male and female lines is so remarkably consistent provides overwhelming support for the theory. A more unusual and elegant line of evidence comes from linguistics. One major study analyzed the number of distinct sounds, or phonemes, used in over 500 languages worldwide. It found what's called a founder effect. The further a language's location is from Africa, the fewer phonemes it tends to have. The greatest sound diversity is found in Africa, which strongly suggests it is the homeland from which human language originated and then spread, simplifying and losing sounds with distance, much like genetic diversity does. Finally, there is the archaeological evidence from tools and artifacts. The material culture of early humans, including their stone toolkits, the use of pigments like ochre, personal adornments like beads, and burial practices, shows a clear timeline. The oldest and most diverse examples of early symbolic behavior are found in Africa. We can then trace a pattern of gradual expansion of these technologies and behaviors as humans moved across the globe, carrying their culture with them. So why did our ancestors leave Africa? While there were likely multiple small, perhaps failed migrations, the major successful wave of migration around 60,000 to 70,000 years ago appears to coincide with a period of major environmental shifts. It wasn't one single event, but a significant change in climate during an ice age that made parts of Africa more arid, likely pushing populations to seek new resources. This same climate change also created, quote, green corridors across previously impassable deserts like the Sahara and the Sinai, creating temporary windows for passage. And it's crucial to remember that the world they entered was not empty. As modern humans spread across Eurasia, they met and interacted with other archaic human species who had left Africa in much, much earlier migrations. These included the famous Neanderthals in Europe and West Asia, the less-known Denisovans in Asia, and possibly others. So they encountered several other hominin species on their journey. The definitive proof of this interaction is right there in our DNA. Genetic sequencing of ancient remains and modern populations has revealed that these encounters involved interbreeding. Traces of Neanderthal DNA are found in all modern humans of non-African descent today, making up about 1 to 2% of their genome. This is a clear genetic footprint of these ancient encounters, a ghost of our extinct cousins in our own cells. This story also shows that human evolution didn't stop once we left Africa. In some ways, it accelerated. For example, the development of agriculture about 10,000 years ago led to new dietary pressures. The ability to digest lactose, the sugar in milk, as an adult is a relatively recent evolutionary trait. It arose independently in populations that domesticated cattle in Europe and parts of Africa. This is a perfect example of evolution being driven by cultural practices, in this case, dairy farming. In conclusion, the out-of-Africa model is overwhelmingly supported by a convergence of evidence from fossils, genetics, and archaeology. However, the story is not a simple, single-file march of progress across the globe. Rather, it is a complex story of multiple waves and interactions, of adaptation to new and harsh environments, and of encounters and intermingling with our ancient cousins. It is a story that is still being written and refined in our very own DNA.
You have now completed the practice test. When you are ready for a full exam experience, visit us at Spinta.org. There you will find complete mock tests for all 4 skills: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Our platform provides instant AI feedback for your speaking and writing tasks, along with an accurate prediction of your band score. Take control of your preparation at Spinta.org.